earlier than I normally get my updates. I normally will come to you like maybe midway through the afternoon. It's currently 12, so it's much earlier today. I got to page like 366 last night. Technically it was a little more than that. I read a chapter after that. Technically though, it was page 372, but we'll just count that as today. It was past midnight and stuff anyway. And then I finished Throne of Glass, so that's 38 pages of Throne of Glass. That ending is just like the duel, it makes me hurt. But I finished it, which means I can finally go on to read the rest of the series. Speaking of which, I'm currently 21 pages into Crown of Midnight. It looks like I'm listening to this one as well. As soon as Throne of Glass finished, my fingers just automatically played Crown of Midnight. So I guess that's that answered. I think it's important that I continue this series while I'm hyped up about it. Total, that means I have read 59 pages. We're off to a good start. I still have not decided what physical book I want to read. I'm between Shadow and Bone and Illuminae. I also would like to read Milk and Honey today. I think it would be smart to do it now while I'm kind of in this weird limbo so that I can still get reading done and be productive other than Crown of Midnight. And that's the one I was going to read entirely outside, but it looks cold. So I'm either going to have to take a lot of blankets or find some other way of cheating that one. Hi, update time. This afternoon I did it over a couple different sessions, but I did read Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, which is like a poetry book. I don't know if it's necessarily a poetry collection because it feels like one larger story here. So it was pretty quick to read, and I feel kind of bad like adding all of the pages in this because there's a lot of pages that just have barely any words on them, so it doesn't actually count in terms of the page count. But then I also don't want to diminish the book by like having the amount of pages. I'm just gonna do the pages that the book says and take into consideration the fact that this is such a short book. So I read this entirely outside, so that completes another challenge. So I have 3 completed so far. I think I struggled with it a little. Struggle's not the right word, but I don't think I appreciated it as much as I wanted to and as much I think it deserves to be appreciated because of the form it's in. I'm not a huge poetry person, but there's a lot of really important themes in here. There's a lot of feminist themes, a lot of themes kind of about love, so it's very interesting to just kind of again, and like I feel like the main character needs this book. There were definitely some pages that like really struck a chord with me, and there were some that just felt relatable but also just made so much sense. It was very honest feeling, very raw, very personal. I wish I had tabs with me. I think I'm gonna have to go back through and put tabs on the pages that I like, because some of the pages were either A, really beautifully written, or B, just really honest and great, you know, ideas to live by. So I did enjoy it. I do think it's a well-deserved book. I think I can understand the hype around this one. I just struggled with the formula a bit. But also, I've only read it once and it's so short. Like, and because I read it within like 2 sittings, maybe an hour's worth of reading total, I feel like you should read it slower. Kind of think about everything she's saying as she's saying it. And it was kind of hard weaving the narrative out of it. And I don't know if that was done purposefully because it feels very personal. And some obscurity would be nice. Like, she doesn't, I'm sure, want everyone to know everything. But as someone who reads mostly prose, I was trying to find the story there because it felt like she was hinting at one. In terms of like a star rating, I'd probably give it like 4 stars. I would like to reread it and like put tabs through it, and some pages were gorgeous. It completes one of my challenges and means I've read another book for the reading rush. So that's good. Another book down. Hi. I thought I would summarise for the end of the night the amount of pages I've read today. So I finished Throne of Glass this morning, which was 38 pages, and then I've begun Crown of Midnight, which is 21 pages, and in total that makes 59 pages. I do think I'm gonna read like another chapter, maybe two, but I only think one because it's quite a long chapter of Crown of Midnight, plus Milk and Honey, which is 204 pages, so that's 263 pages. And then I have finally started Illuminae, and I'm currently 32 pages in. In total there's 295 pages, but bear in mind that 200 of those pages were Milk and Honey, which is a very short, easy read. So really it's more around like maybe 150 if we were to condense Milk and Honey, but that's still a decent amount. I'm still relatively happy with that. It could be better, but I did stumble into technical difficulties again today, and I had some time off. I got to watch some YouTube today because I've been really behind on YouTube, so that was nice. I might read some more Illuminae before the night is over. It is a really quick read. I have read Illuminae before, and I would say it's one of my favorite books. I did really love it. Right now I'm kind of like it kind of throws you in a little bit. It's high sci-fi. There's a lot to kind of figure out in terms of the names of the spaceships and the names of the planets and the different companies, and there's a lot of like jargon thrown around, a lot of different names, and so it takes a while to get used to it. We'll see how I get on. We'll see how much of this I read before the week is up. Hopefully most of it, if not all. That would be nice. Yeah, so that's it for today. Hi! So it's Saturday, day 6, and there's not been a lot of footage today, and the biggest reason is because I've been reading a lot for today. Not a lot has happened other than me reading. So last night, I read an extra 12 pages, I think, since my last update of Crown of Midnight. So that's 307 pages total for yesterday. Pretty good. Today I've read listened to 56 pages of Crown of Midnight this morning. There's probably what I wanted to read in the whole day, more than I wanted to read in the whole day, so that's pretty good, and I know that I'll probably listen to at least one more chapter. And I've also read 178 pages of Illuminae. I'm on page 210, so I'm hoping to get to page 300 by tonight. I've spent pretty much all afternoon just sitting reading it. I've been loving it. This is one of my all-time favorites. I've been kind of questioning a little bit because, you know, details slip and kind of start second guessing things over time, and rereading it just affirms that it is one of my all-time favorites. I forgot how funny it was. I've laughed out loud so many times. I keep, like, every 5 minutes I'll sit there and giggle. And the story, it's hard sci-fi, and at first it takes a little while to get used to, and you get used to it and it's fine. And this time around I think I'm understanding it so much more. There were some like politics and stuff that was going over my head the first time, but I'm really trying to like understand what's going on this time. And there's like a hardcore mystery aspect there, and it's kind of creepy and scary. It's just so good. I'm having a blast rereading it. I'm so glad that I convinced myself to in the end. I'm having so much fun reading Crown of Midnight as well. New material, because I knew Throne of Glass, like the Assassin's Blade was fun reading and all, but because it was a prequel it wasn't the same. Whereas this is after Throne of Glass, so it's really nice to know what happens after Throne of Glass, because I knew Throne of Glass, if that makes any sense. I'm just having so much fun reading both of these, and hopefully I'll make decent progress. I'm sure I'm going to read more of both tonight. It's currently 9:30. Yeah, that's the update. I also watched 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which made me feel kind of sick watching it. These really intense films do kind of make me feel ill watching them, but I do think I liked it. It's kind of quirky and weird and different, but I was pleasantly surprised by it. I didn't think it was going to be as dark as it was. I didn't really know a lot going into it. My mother thought it was going to be really funny, and it was funny at times. That has literally been my day. I listened to Crown of Midnight in the morning, I ate, I read Illuminae all afternoon, and then I ate again, and I watched 3 Billboards Outside Missouri, Ebbing. Cool. Thanks for watching so far. See you tomorrow, I guess. Hello. So one of the challenges for Bookstagram, the Reading Rush Bookstagram. Challenge day 7. Use your books to make an artwork. This is a chance to get really creative and imaginative. For me, the first thing that came to mind was makeup. One of my other great passions. The thing that I spend most of my money on, other than books, if not, I probably spend more money on makeup. Actually, I like to get creative with eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is my favorite. I could spend forever doing eyeshadow. I did my makeup the other day for the Assassin's Blade discussion and I really got into that one. I think that one was a lot of fun to do and it came out a lot better than I was anticipating, although it never shows up on camera or in photos as well as it looks on my real face. I don't know why. It's really annoying actually. So for the challenge I figured I might as well do something with makeup. I think I'm gonna base off of Knight and Cake puppets. We have a fun gradient going on here that I think I can recreate. I think I'm kind of gonna do this tutorial style, but we'll see. But yeah, let's get on with this because I need makeup on my face. I also am going to be listening to Kind of Midnight, so I won't be talking the whole time because I need to get some reading in. I've only read like a chapter this morning. I'm just priming my eyelids with some concealer and then I'm going to set it with translucent powder. Okay, so far I'm using the Mini Controversy palette. I'm planning on going between this and the James Charles palette. Controversial, I know, but I have them both and I think they both have the colours that I need. Went in with Flat Earth, kind of dusted it in and around the crease, spread it outwards a bit as a transition shade. Flat Earth is this pale blue colour here, and then I'm now going in with Exposed. Cancelled and deepening the crease and kind of putting it in my outer corner because the Night, this bit, it's still quite a light blue, so I don't think I want it any darker than that. I now realise that it's going to be quite light and get darker inwards, which is normally the opposite of what you do with makeup, but we're just going to have to see how it looks and then go from there, I think. So I now want a little bit of a darker blue to help transition into the purple, make it a nice gradient. I've not decided if I'm going to use shimmers or mattes on my actual eyelid. I feel like shimmers would pop more, but I don't know if I have shimmers of all of the colours I would want to use. I think I'm going to use Playground from the James Charles palette. This one here, it's quite similar to Exposed. It's a little bit darker, I think. I'm still using a fluffy blending brush to do all of this because I don't want it to be overly saturated. I just want to kind of get a feel for the colours before I can really cement them down. Gone in with Exposed on a fluffy brush again, and I've put that throughout the crease on this whole eye because this one's going to be kind of pink and purpley anyway, so I might as well just start layering eyeshadows up. I'm the kind of person that layers eyeshadows a lot, and then I've kind of started dusting it in the inner corner of this one to start with the purple. I'm gonna need like a bluey purple on this eye. I think it's quite dark. I'm gonna try this shade from the 35p palette from Morphe. I think I'm going to start with a finger and just see how that works layering it up. I'm going to cut the camera for a little bit because my battery is dying. When I have more going on this eye, I'll come back and explain to you. Okay, so I've tapped on that purple shade in the inner corner, and that was actually, I think, the best way of applying it. And then I've gone back and forth from kind of the overlapping area between the shade from the James Charles palette, Playground, I believe it was, and the purple, and just kind of trying to get a gradient that I'm happy with. I kind of want this outer corner to be a little brighter. I don't know, it looks brighter IRL than it's coming across on camera. I'm going to leave it there for now at least and start doing the other eye. I'm going to start with the pink and work my way in because I think the pink's going to be not as dark as the purple will be. I'm going to be going in with Pinkety Drinkety and Skip from the James Charles palette. 2 pinks on the very end there, so the lighter one will be more of a transition shade, blending it into Exposed, which I've already laid down. And then Pinkety Drinkety will be the one that I actually kind of stamp on the outer corner. And then I'll go in with, I think, more of a reddy purpley, maybe Controversy even, and a bit of a darker purple in the very inner corner. I'll turn off my camera again and I'll come back when I have a little bit more of that done. I did go over with a little bit of Exposed in the inner corner here to help blend it out a little bit as well. So I went into my outer crease and kind of blew out Pinkety Drinkety on this side, and then I went back in with a little bit Exposed in the inner corner to make sure there's a distinction there between the 2 colours. I stamped on Skip on the outer corner, and then I put Controversy kind of in the middle of the eye and went back and forth again, just like I did on this eye, tapping and meshing. And then my inner corner here is Escape from the James Charles palette, which is this purple color here. So I'm going to rummage around my eyeshadows to see if I can find anything and decide what I want to do in terms of inner corner highlight as well. I probably will go over everything one more time maybe and just make sure everything's completely blended. I think the blue blends out a little more than the pink does, so I need to make the pink come up further and make sure that I'm happy with this saturation on this eye in comparison to this eye. But it's not sticking. Controversy isn't sticking the best to the middle of my eye, and I don't know if it's the way I'm applying it, if it's my eyelids, if it's the color. So I'm going to play around with that a little more as well. And I've gone over with a flat brush and just stamped in the purple colors in my inner corner just to get a bit more vibrant. This one's much more vibrant now. This one I think less so. So I'm going to go in again with a finger and just stamp over it and see if that helps a little bit. It's hard to get it precise in there with a finger because I keep kind of, you can see there, getting it further out, which is why I wanted to go in with a brush. But this colour just didn't react very well with it. And again, just keep going in with Exposed, that light purple shade, and blending out any kind of mess that I make. It is quite a blown out look anyway, so it doesn't overly matter too much. I'm going to try and go into Controversy with that flat brush as well and see if that helps at all. So obviously a lot has changed since I last saw you. I did my foundation and concealer, a little bit of blush, done my eyebrows, done an eyebrow highlight, and under, what's it, why am I eyebrow bone, why am I blanking on what it's called? I used specifically this color here from the 35V palette from Morphe. It's kind of just like a goldy. I wanted something very bright in your face. I had some shadow already under this eye that I kind of didn't completely wipe away. Before I kind of wiped away all the excess and kind of sharpened up the edges with a cotton pad before I put on my foundation and concealer. And I didn't wipe it completely away on this side. If I did go in and kind of did that myself, I'd go in with the lighter shade of pink and the darker shade of pink, Pinkety Drinkety and Playground I think they're called, and then the same with the lighter blue and then the slightly dark blue that I use in the outer corner here. I thought I would do my inner corner highlights. I have an idea. We could see how it would work. This shade from the 35P palette, this shade up here, it's a blue toned pale, very shimmery purple, and then this is a number 7 palette. It's really old. I don't think they make it anymore. There's a similar shade in this one, but it's more pinky, more violet. It's got a bit more gold in there, and so I figured the blue one could go on this side and the pinky one could go on this side as inner highlights, and we could see how that goes. My foundation today didn't apply the best. Not really sure why, what happened today, but it happens. This is the brush I normally use my inner highlight with. It's really short and dense. It came in a random kit, so I don't really know where it came from, but it's just perfect for like inner corner highlights and eyebrow, under eyebrow highlights. I'm going to dip into the bluey shade first, get it well saturated, tap off the excess. I'm going to spray with setting spray not too much. I'm gonna start kind of just at the very inner corner and then see how blending out, how far it needs to go. What I'm gonna do is take this pencil brush and get some of that light pale blue shade and kind of connect it in here because it looks a little gappy. Just very lightly, I don't want it to be too strong. I'm not the biggest fan of under eye shadow on my eyes personally. If the look asks for it, then I'll do it. And I do think it can look okay sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on this side but with the other purple shade. I'm hoping you'll be able to see a difference between the two. I'm gonna dust off this pencil brush and kind of use it to feather out the edges. Yeah, I can definitely see a difference between the two. Okay, I think I'm gonna go in with, again, just like a whitey gold eyeshadow. Maybe the same one I used under here, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go in with this one here just because it's what's in front of me. And just put that in the very inner corner just to brighten up a pinch. For a highlighter, I have this Revolution Pro palette. It's my favourite highlighter palette. This gold I use all the time. They are just stunning. This is a very bluey purpley color and this is a pinky color. I thought it'd be perfect to do different highlighters on different sides of my face. With some Morphe brush, it came in an eyeshadow set, but it's big enough for me to use as a highlighter brush. I'm gonna go in with the pink side. I'm just gonna highlight with it. I'm gonna bring it right up here as well. I kind of like to do like a crescent moon shape with my highlighter. I like it to be a lot and I like to mesh it in with my blush, and my blush I tend to bring all up around here. And like I said, I'm going to go on the other side with the brush in the purple shade, and then I'm going to use a bigger fluffier brush to help blend it all out. Okay, this side's going to need more help blending, I think, especially in with the blush. I might have to get a different blush colour and help mesh that in slightly. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do in terms of lips either. I thought could be cool to do like moons and stars on my face somewhere somehow, but I'm not entirely sure. If I do, I'll use the moon stamper like I did the other day and freehand stars with eyeliner. I'm gonna put on some more mascara and figure out what to do with my lips. Probably do something different with my hair. My camera's dying, so I won't be able to show you all this, and I'll update you later when my camera has recharged some. Okay, so this is the very end result. The stars are a little sloppier than I would like, and the lipstick is hard to get the kind of corners of my mouth right. The corners of my mouth are the bit that needs the most work in terms of lining them. I did various different stages of pictures with just the eye makeup, no stars and no lips, and then I did some with lips, and then I finally put the stars on at the very end. I do have a moon over here as well. I have a moon earring in this ear and star earrings in this ear. Did end up putting a little bit of silver glitter on my inner corner of my eye. I like the eye makeup a lot. The lipstick and the stars I'm less happy with, but all in all I don't think it's awful. But here is the finished result. I'll put the final pictures on screen if I haven't already. Here they are. It's one of those annoying things where IRL it looks pretty decent. I just looked in the bathroom mirror and it looked a lot better than I thought it did. I mean, granted the stars are messy, but I'm really happy with the eye makeup, and the lips, they're not even, I don't know, on camera they just come across weird, but IRL they look like the shape of my lips. So I don't know what's going on, it's really annoying. But I've done what I can do. I'm really happy with the highlighter. I don't know if it's shown in the camera as well, but IRL it looks really cool because it's really bluey purple this side and it's really pink this side, and the earrings. I am quite happy with it, I think, in the end. I just don't know whether it comes across on camera as well, which is so frustrating because that's what this is for. Food, update, illuminate. Order of things to do. See you then. Hi, quick update time. In regards to reading last night, I totaled at 381 pages. I read 14 extra pages of Crown of Midnight. I think it was like 2 chapters. And I got to page 344 of Illuminate. So I read 311 pages of Illuminate total yesterday, and 70 pages total of Crown of Midnight, I think. Anyway, I totaled in 381 pages today, which is pretty good. This one is still got a lot of instant messages, so it still reads really quickly. It's not all prose. I feel like it counts more than Milk and Honey does, and that's the most pages I've read in a day so far, so I'm really happy with that, and I'm really hoping I can finish Illuminate today. It did get to the part where it was starting to get stressful. I'm in Stressville right now. My opinion of it was going down slightly the more I read, but I think I was also getting tired and cranky. As I said, I was listening to Crown of Midnight as I did my makeup this morning, and I listened to 44 pages total. I'm currently on page 149, so it's 2 more chapters until I get to kind of the place that I wanted to get for today. That will easily happen. Yeah, I'm going to read some Illuminae for the rest of the afternoon, I think, and I'll see you later on. Hi! This might be the last check-in, about 20 to 9. So I don't know if I'll check in again after this tonight, although I am going to continue reading tonight. I'm going to try and have like one last big push and get as many pages in as I can. I think tonight, in terms of an update though, like 10-15 minutes ago, I finished Illuminae. I read it virtually in 2 days. I had read like 33 pages Friday night, but like, are we gonna really count that? The night is still young. I could have easily read those 33 pages today. So I could have read this in 2 days, and so therefore in my mind I did read it in 2 days. And I think I virtually read it in 2 days the first time as well. Like, I had to dedicate myself to it. I didn't really get anything else other than that done. Although, that being said, I was busy all morning doing the makeup and stuff and listening to Crown of Midnight. And Saturday morning, all morning, I listened to Crown of Midnight. I didn't start reading this bad boy until like 2 o'clock. So I could have maybe, if I really wanted to and just didn't do anything else that day, read it in 1 day. But that would be intense, I think. True to what I said earlier, the second half, I don't know if I love it as much as the first half. It's intense stuff. It just gets to this point, right, and sucks you in. And that's it. You're there till the end, and it's so good. It's so good. There's one aspect that I'm not in love with, like one of the forms, the AI. When it's a lot of pages, it kind of, I think it just slows it down. His mind wanders. But other than that, I still give this like book 10 out of 10. That's one of my favorites. I'm gonna try and edit the book discussion on it and get that up. Maybe not next, but within the next couple of weeks of you seeing this, it should be up. It's an old one. I've recorded it a long time ago. So keep your eyes peeled for that if you're interested. I did order, as a reward to myself, the American hardback, because this is the paperback, and it's not an awful paperback. It's an English one, but it's floppy, which is rare. English paperbacks are normally really stiff and annoying, and I hate them. This is a floppy one, so it's not too bad, but I have Gemina in a hardback, and it is beautiful and big, and because it's one of my favorites, I think I should have the hardcover. And as a reward for myself, for the reading rush, I'll get onto my accomplishments in a minute, but there's more than I thought there'd be, and as a reward I ordered myself the hardcover. In terms of pages, in terms of stats, it was 255 pages of Illuminae plus the 44 pages I read of Crown of Midnight. That's 299 pages thus far. I will be listening to more Crown of Midnight tonight. Not sure what I'm going to do tonight other than that, because I don't want to listen to it all night. I feel like, you know, I should get a break tonight. It's been a long week. My makeup's held up pretty well. The eyeshadow, I'm really impressed with it. My eyeshadow would normally, like, eventually it would start creasing. I rub my eyes a lot, so like it would start to smear and crease a little bit, but it hasn't really at all. Very impressed with the Jeffree Star and James Charles formulas. As this is probably the final check-in, I figured I should do some rounding up type things. In total, I probably have made 3 reading rush videos if we include this one, which I am, because I've put in all the work thus far. I know it'll be finished. It won't be finished up within the week, but I'm counting it anyway. And I've done 3 of the different Bookstagram challenges. I thought I would have done more than that. There's been a couple days where I meant to do them and then I'd forget by the end of the day. But I did the cosplay one, your current read with your pet, and I did the artwork one, this one. I haven't actually posted it yet, but I will once I'm finished talking to you. That's the first thing I'm going to do, post that picture. So there's 3 Bookstagrams. I did all 3 of the video challenges. I made a cup of tea, I told a bookish story, and I did a outfit that matches my book. In terms of the reading challenges, I did 5, which is more than I thought I would do. I'm really happy with that. And in terms of books read, 4 books. 4 books in a week. This is crazy. And I know one of them was really short, and even if we don't count that one, 3 books in a week is still a lot for me. And like one of them was kind of short, but the other 2 weren't. So pat on the back for Jade. This is why I ordered the Illuminae. The first book I finished this week was Again Again by E. Lockhart, which I think I'd also give this one a 10 out of 10. It was, in terms of the challenge, a book that takes place on a different continent to me. I didn't really care in terms of challenges. I just knew I was going to read this book anyway this week, and so I kind of was like, why not? The second book I finished was Throne of Glass, which was the first book I touched, and it actually was really the first book I touched because I just picked it up to start listening to it in the morning, not even thinking I was going to do the reading rush. And this one's like a big baby. This is 400 pages, and even if you want to say I did cheat 120 pages, if you remember, but I'm currently 150 pages into Crown of Midnight, so I don't think that argument works because I still would have finished it this week anyway, and then read another like 30 pages more, so if you count what I'm going to read tonight, of Crown of Midnight anyway, so I don't care. Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. Not entirely sure how that's pronounced. I'm so sorry. Really need to look it up. And I read this one entirely outside. And then last but certainly not least, we have Illuminae. And this is the same colour as my birthstone, Citrine. And it's a book of a genre that I want to read more of, being sci-fi, and I'm now going to read Gemna next week. And this one's like a good 600 pages, and again, I know it's not like necessarily written in prose, but even if you were to condense it, it'd still be like 400 or so, I'd say. So I'm proud of reading this baby so quickly. I had so much fun reading. I'm so glad that I convinced myself in the end to read this one. This was was not planned at all. I was going to read Shadow and Bone next, start the Grisha trilogy, but I guess we're putting that one on the back burner for now. And so these are the books. I feel like Crown of Midnight should be in here. Like, I started reading it this week. I'm gonna put it in my stack. And so these are the books that I read / started reading, and the total amount of pages I read was 1,496 pages. That's a lot for me. I'm really impressed with that. Oh, should I give ratings for the other book since I did for Again Again? Again Again is a 10 out of 10. And then it fell on the floor. Illuminae is a 10 out of 10. Milk and Honey. See, I then went and looked on Goodreads, and all the reviews at the top were not great ones. And I think the problem people had with the form, and I can understand that. Is it poetry? But then again, I don't read a lot of poetry anyway, so I don't know if I care so much. I kind of like that it's more so just a bunch of observations, kind of written very beautifully, I think. I'd give it like a 7, 8 out of 10. I was impressed with it. Throne of Glass, I think I'd still give it like an 8 out of 10, but the first one I liked it, but I didn't enjoy it half as much as I did this time round. And then I can't rate Crown of Midnight because I've not finished it. But I am really enjoying it. Kind of waiting for it to pick up a little more and get a little bit more excitement going on. But it's only book 2, so it's okay if it doesn't for a while yet. Really good stuff as well. Not only did I read a lot of books, but I read a lot of books that I love, and 2 of them were rereads. Was it the most productive? No, but these were both 2 books that I really wanted to / needed to reread to read the books past that. I read both of them in 2016, I think. So I wouldn't have read Crown of Midnight, and I would be on to reading Gemna next week had I not reread these. So it was productive, and I'm really glad that I pushed myself to reread them, and I had so much fun rereading both of them. And then Again, I think is going to be on my all-time favourites list. I finally started reading Crown of Midnight. Milk and Honey, I think, is an important read, so I'm really happy with the reading that I got done this week as well. I'm just all around so pleased. I have a healthy amount of badges going on my profile. I don't even care that I didn't complete all of the challenges, because one of them I wasn't gonna try and attempt, and the second one, like, I knew I was either gonna complete the birthstone one and the genre that I need to read more of, or I was gonna complete the one beginning with the. I knew it was a toss-up, so ultimately I think I made the right call, and I wasn't ready to go into another E. Lockhart book so soon to Again anyway. I'm really happy with the vlogs I've been making. I didn't think I'd make them consistently. I'm just overwhelmed with emotion. This has been a good, stressful, but good week. I also got some really good news the other day. I graduated, kind of, from my degree just gone, and I applied to masters, and if I didn't get into a master's program, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I've been accepted into one of them, so I'm thinking I'm going to be okay. I'm going to have something to do come September, so that's a huge relief. I still need to wait and hear on the other one though, because the other one is actually my first choice, but we'll see. Yeah, I think this is everything. As I said, I will read more of Crown of Midnight, and I will update you. If you're a new subscriber, if you've joined me because of the reading rush, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching these. I hope they're okay. If you have any videos that you want me to make, please let me know. I'm more than welcome to suggestions. That is everything. thank you so much for watching this. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening / night. My name's Jade. I hope I see you again next time. Goodbye!